Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. So today me and my dad are going to be talking about some Newcastle United transfer news and other news. So let's get into the video. Now Keith Downey has reported that Newcastle have agreed a £3 million fee for Scottish 21 years old right back Harrison Ashby. Now Dad, what's your thoughts on the player?
Well, I think he's a player who's out of contract in the summer. Plays for West Ham. He's made 5 appearances this season with 1 assist. And he's a player who I know very little about, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I know he's highly thought of in the Newcastle coaching staff. And he's a player they've been looking at.
I think we've had a couple of bids rejected for him already.
Previously. So I think it's a bit like Gordon. We've gone back to get Gordon, which we'll come on to later. But we've also gone back for Ashby. And with him going out of contract, they've agreed a $3 million in the summer. We've managed to agree a $3 million fee with West Ham. So he's probably seen as a replacement for Trippier once Trippier and maybe is no longer playing in a few years' time. But we were linked with Ivan Fresneda, so it looks like that's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
With we're getting Ashby, who's he's coming up the Tyneside for a medical as well. So hopefully we'll get him over the line, and that'll be Gordon and Ashby signed. So what do you think about Gordon, Charlie?
Now I think Gordon's a decent player. You know, he had a really good season last season. There was Chelsea had a bid rejected for him. Other clubs were interested in him, and then this season I think everyone was expecting him to have a big season since he'd done really well last season. But he hasn't really done as well this season as many people would have expected to, and you could give reasons for that because he's in the Everton team that isn't as good as the Newcastle team. So maybe once he comes in, he will do a lot better because he's in a better team. You know, Newcastle are doing way better than Everton. They're in the down the bottom. So he hasn't had a great season this season, but I don't know. Some people have said we've overpaid for him. Now, Chelsea did have a bid rejected of 60 million last summer, so we've actually paid for less than his value actually is. So obviously Everton will have probably put his value down because he hasn't had as good season this season. But I certainly think that if Howe likes him, we've seen how much Eddie Howe has improved his players over the past. If Howe really likes him, then I'm sure he'll be a good player to get in. But it seems like the fan base is quite divided on this. Yeah. Some people like him, some people don't like him and say he isn't a good signing. A lot of people don't like his attitude, but I believe that to join Newcastle, he will have to sort out his attitude, and I'm sure Howe will sort it out. So
It was good to see him at the. So he's at the training ground yesterday.
He was actually at the Metro Centre.
Then he was at St James's Park to do some media work. It's not been announced officially yet, but apparently he has signed and everything's done. They're just waiting to announce it.
I do expect it to be probably announced on Monday. I don't think it'll get announced today, but he can't play for the Carabao Cup game against Southampton. And he also can't play for the final as well. So this has not been announced yet, but everything's agreed. He's done his medical, and it will be Newcastle's first signing of the January transfer window with Ashby to come in. So I just want you guys to comment down below, how would you rate our January transfer window so far? Do you think it's been successful? Do you think the club should have signed more players by now? Carl Darlow has joined Hull City on loan. Now, as you know, our second choice goalkeeper, Loris Karius, extended his stay at Newcastle till the summer. So we're always expected Carl Darlow to go out on loan. Now, it's not officially been confirmed yet, but it seems like he is going to go.
Yes, it has last night. Last night, yeah. So I was talking to Carl Darlow yesterday, and he said he thought it would happen, that he was going to go to Hull on loan, but I think it's a really good move for him to get some game time.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really good, and that the fact that he wasn't getting game time at Newcastle. He is a good keeper, but obviously we've got Dubravka's back now. We've got Pope, who's doing amazing,
Brilliant,
isn't he? And Karius has signed a deal until the end of the season. So I think it's a good move and wish him all the best because he's been a really good servant for the club. Whether it turns into a permanent deal, we don't know about that, but it would be good if he can get some game time.
Now, I just want to touch into something now. Since Chris Wood has gone on loan to Nottingham Forest, there's actually something in his contract that says if he plays a certain amount of games, Nottingham Forest have to pay 15 million for him. So that is a great business there for Dan Ashworth, because, you know, it means that Forest will be forced to pay that amount of money depending on how many games he plays for them. So that is great business by Dan Ashworth.
It is a good deal for the club, that.
It's good for Chris Wood in Newcastle, so I also wish Chris Wood the best on his loan spell. So now I just want to touch on James Maddison. Now, Leicester have signed Brazilian winger Tete, who was on loan from Lyon, from Shakhtar Donetsk, but they've terminated that loan and they've got him to the end of the season. So does this mean that they've sort of signed him as a short-term replacement because they're going to lose Maddison? Now, last in the summer, Newcastle had 2 or 3 bids rejected for James Maddison of 50 million and 60 million. Now, apparently the player would be keen on the move, but it's just whether Newcastle and Leicester can agree the fee. So it'll be interesting to see, will the club go back in for Maddison?
Leicester are actually trying to sign Harrison, who Newcastle
they've had a
Jack Harrison from
£26 million
Leeds.
bid rejected from Leeds.
Leicester doing that because they're panicking, thinking Newcastle are going to come in with an offer, a last minute offer for Maddison. But for me, I think it's more likely that Maddison, if he does come to Newcastle, it'll be more likely in the summer. But who knows? It's getting exciting. There's not long left, not many days left of the transfer deadline. So could or Leicester panicking and trying to get Harrison in, who's a very good player, in case Maddison goes out, and Newcastle will have to wait and see on that one.
So how do you think Newcastle's transfer window's been so far? Do you think it's been a success?
I think it's been just Newcastle. They're bringing in experienced Premier League players. So, you know, obviously they're bringing in Gordon, who's an experienced Premier League player. Although he's still young, he's played in the Premier League. Ashby's played a few games. So they're bringing in young players who suit their style of play. So they're not like splashing loads of money. I know 45
Now, I
million is
just
a lot
want
of
to
money,
ask,
but,
do you think maybe you're saying like we haven't splashed a lot of money, but do you think that's because maybe we've missed out on a few of our targets, or do you think maybe that's just because we're just being sensible?
I think again there's Mudryk who's went to Chelsea. I think he's a player we would have liked, but you know he's not come. He's gone to Chelsea.
I mean, Chelsea
seem to be
everyone,
don't they?
Just signed Gusto.
I think Newcastle are being really wise in what they're doing. But Gusto has just gone to Chelsea as well. So that's some interesting news. Could there be a final late signing coming in, a surprise, you know, or a Maddison or a
something
Diaby
like
or Ramos from Benfica? Who knows?
So guys, that's just been a quick update for you on some Newcastle United transfer news. We've got the Southampton game on Tuesday, halfway there to the final, which would be a fantastic achievement. We are potentially going to be going to the final, so
if we get there, we've got to get there first.
Great video for you guys. So anyway, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you know every time I'm going to post. And so we'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.